Welcome to part 2 of a 3-part series on the introduction to the IHM input database. If you have access to a dual monitor, you may want to have an IHM project directory containing the IHM input database open for review on your second screen during this training video. During this video, we will discuss table relationships, frequently used tables in the IHM database, and queries. Relationships have been established in the IHM input database. Relationships connect information between tables and establish referential integrity among related tables within the database. This helps prevent data redundancy and ensures data consistency among related tables. As mentioned in the first video, because relationships are established, tables should never be deleted from an IHM input database. If needed, the contents of a table can be deleted and an existing table can be refilled with data. However, referential integrity order must be followed to remove or add data using the first in, last out, and last in, first out rules. To view relationships, highlight a table on the left side and go to Database Tools, Relationships. Then select Direct Relationships, and parent-child relationships will appear in the window. This example shows the relationships between the parent table, production well, and the child tables, as shown. Because relationships are established, if you delete a table in the IHM database, the relationship will be broken. Refilling an existing table with updated data will maintain the established parent-child relationships. To view more relationships, right-click where the relationships are displayed and click Show All. Now we will take a look at some frequently used tables within the IHM database. Production well tables contain information for production wells. For a calibrated model, these tables are frequently used to create well pumping scenarios. This includes tables production well adjustment set, production well layer, and production well time series. Well pumping scenarios can be created while preserving the historical well pumping time series in the model. As with other tables in the IHM database, there is a referential integrity order that must be followed when making changes to production well tables. Table production well is the parent table for the other production well tables. Production wells must first be added in table production well before they can be added in child tables. When changes need to be made to production wells, they can either be made through the IHM interface or directly in the database. The decision to update through the database or the interface should be made according to how many wells are being modified or added. When there are a lot of changes to production wells, it may be easier to make the changes through the database, assuming that the user is familiar with access and access queries. Here are some important notes about the production well time series table and the representation of pumping within the IHM. In the production well time series table, for each production well, the pumping rate used in the model remains the same from the date specified in the table entry until and including the date before the next specified date recorded in this table. In other words, there are records in this table only on the day when the pumping rate changes for a given well. In the example on the right, the pumping always stays at the rate specified on the first day of the month for the entire month, until the rate changes on the first day of the next month. If the pumping is constant for an entire simulation, only one entry is needed on the first day of the simulation for a well. To find average pumping, you cannot average rates in the production well time series table because the records are compressed and the data frequency among wells can be different. Compressed means that a record is required in the table only when there is a change in the rate. Instead, use the IHM water balance post-processing plugin or use the export well time series utility on the ModFlow tab of the scenario view of the IHM user interface. In the IHM database, pumping units are cubic feet per day, where pumping is negative and injection is positive, following the ModFlow sign convention. Table Full History Cell supports simulation output and post-processing. Cells of interest are provided by the user as inputs. The cell ID of a location can be determined through GIS. Entries in this table do not affect model results. They are simply observation points where output is saved to IHM CSV files during the simulation. This table cannot currently be accessed through the IHM interface so the user must make changes directly in the database. For all cells listed in this table, 3 CSV files are populated with simulated time series for aquifer water levels, river cell stage, and base flow and flow, along with other groundwater output. Simulated output is populated in headhistory.csv, cellhistory.csv, and rivercellhistory.csv. Data in this table supports inputs for the IHM summary plugin. Table scenario stores all information about each IHM simulation scenario. Records of this table are viewed, added, and modified using the scenario view of the IHM user interface. The scenario ID automatically numbers when a scenario is added. Changes made within the user interface will be reflected in this table. When a scenario is added in the user interface, an entry or row is added to this table. Lastly, let's take a look at queries in the IHM database. Use the pull-down menu to toggle between viewing tables and queries. A list of queries appears on the left-hand side, where the list of tables was. Queries are grouped by type: select, append, delete, update, make table, and crosstab. Be careful not to double-click on append, delete, or update queries. This could modify information in your tables. If you are using an existing IHM application, you most likely will not need queries unless you are making changes. Right-click on a select query to view it in Design View. Note that this query can also be viewed in SQL View. Queries can be viewed in Design View or SQL View. The user can add queries to the IHM database without affecting the functionality of the IHM simulation, pre-processing, or post-processing. Thanks for watching part 2 of the 3-part introduction to the IHM input database. More videos are available on the IHM website at www.integratedhydrologicmodel.org.